The hosts, any guests, and speakers, and do not necessarily reflect the views and beliefs of this station, Awesome Radio, its parent company, Community Care Fellowship, nor its affiliates and underwriters. Any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the content of this program should be directed to the host. This is a disclaimer.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Glenn Jonson, host of the Glenn Jonson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullis Williams. You just heard a brief disclaimer from the owner, and I'm actually glad that she put that disclaimer in the broadcast because I found out some information that's important not only to the listeners, to myself, and to my co-host Apostle Jacqueline Cullis Williams, but also the radio station, because we do not want to tarnish the reputation or the integrity of the radio station. So I'm glad she put that disclaimer in the broadcast. And further, I'm going to have Apostle explain some different things because we narrowed our broadcast down today. We took some documents out because were not, as far as I'm concerned, they were not verified. And I don't want to use any content that is not truthful. Some of the documents I received from links that was provided by Newsbreak. I was receiving a link on my phone because I had the Newsbreak app on my phone. Then I did a little research based upon the conversation I had with the owner, which is why we have this disclaimer. And that information is Newsbreak. The information that they provide is not verified. It's not to be trusted, which is why I scaled down some of the documents that we have for you today. Because after I found that information out, and basically what they were doing was using information from various media networks without their permission, and they are under investigation, and there's a big lawsuit going on about how they obtain the information. Here's Apostle to explain more to you.
Hey, to our listening audience on today and to Dr. Glenn, we are so glad to be here. Oh my goodness, we are in a season where there is much news, much media, much rumor, much speculation. And so I too am very glad to hear that disclaimer that was put on the beginning of this broadcast. I want to say this, it's never our intention to ever bring out anything that may not have been true or, sometimes the sources. And in this age that we're in now, I personally have seen a lot of AI, particular things, documents and things that are being made that are false.
Hold on a second, because they did mention AI too. And one thing else I want to point out before you get to that is that, and when they said they were obtaining the information illegally, because I noticed on some of the sites that they provided, and you click on the link to go to view additional information. It might be from a news network, but at the bottom of the page, it says the copyright, do not redistribute, broadcast, or anything like that. That's why I scaled down what we're going to talk about today because of that.
Definitely. And, as Dr. Glenn said, and, I'm just piggybacking off of that, there's a lot of things out there now with AI. And as far as I'm concerned, things need to be labeled if it's AI. It needs to be a mandatory law that if that thing is AI, that it needs to be labeled as AI.
Yeah, like when you mentioned first, notified me about the AI, how they redid Aretha Franklin's song.
Oh, yeah. And imagine, the danger of it, not just, for Aretha Franklin with that particular song and they did this AI and the way they had her dressed, but also, for ourselves personally. Somebody can take your image and your actions and take your voice and then put it on something and impose it on something that you didn't say or something that is not of your character. So Dr. Glenn is jumping in here.
Yeah, we have 5.5 minutes to go before we go through the crust of the topic today. So what we're going to do today is I have to condense the documents I have because of the verification factors and things like that. We're going to stick to what the governor of North Carolina mentioned about the SNAP program. We have a document and audio clip for that. Also, we'll talk about verifiable information that I received from the Pitt County government website itself. So you know that information is factual from the Pitt County government website, and that's on the SNAP program. Here's a popular to explain why we chose to do a scaled down version. She's gonna give you a little bit more information on Newsbreak and Verify, because I would rather use Verified. Information on Verified have been verified. Apostle.
Yes, so Dr. Glenn has a document here. It says, and it's about Newsbreak. It says, how accurate is Newsbreak? Newsbreak's accuracy is considered highly questionable due to its use of artificial intelligence to generate erroneous and sometimes entirely fabricated stories. It is not considered a reliable source for news.
And that's why I'm going to discontinue using anything from Newsbreak. Upon entering the station today outside of my car, I deleted the app off of my phone. When I get home, I'm going to delete it off of my computer. I'm sorry, Newsbreak.
Well, and it's something to think that certain stories that could feel very heartfelt, and then you find out that that story is AI, that it's totally false, it's totally generated. This is just how I feel about it, Dr. Glenn. I don't feel like, AI needs to be playing with our emotions. We need to know when something is AI, and it needs to be mandatorily put on that particular thing that we're watching is AI.
Absolutely. I have 3.5 minutes before we're going to go to the first break. And I'm going to let Apostle take us out to the break. But when we come back, we're going to get to the main reason why we're here today, talk about what's going on with the SNAP program and verified information that we have from Pitt County government website and the audio clip and document we have from Governor Stein right here in the great state of North Carolina. Apostle, 3 minutes.
Yes, and Dr. Glenn also he gave us another document called Verify. And it said Verify's mission is to stop the spread of false information. What is Verify? Verify is dedicated to helping the public distinguish between true and false information. The Verify team has helped with questions submitted by the audience, tracks the spread of stories or claims that need clarification or correction.
And that's exactly why I'm going to start looking for, or even if I get the topic, I'm going to verify it through Verify.
Definitely, Dr. Glenn, because we can never be too careful about things, and like as I said earlier, you don't want to just put things out there and it's not true, and it has not been verified,
Yeah.
or it's not the truth.
That's right, because we don't want to tarnish or jeopardize the reputation or the integrity of Awesome Radio.
Definitely. And let me just say this out here, Dr. Glenn. We all have our own opinions. And even on this particular platform, sometimes we express our own opinion. But definitely when we express it, we'll let you know that this is how I feel about it.
And I always tell people on the broadcast, should you need any of the documents that we have today, don't hesitate to email me at Glenn, Glenn Jonson Show at gmail.com. And further, since it's a very highly important topic, you can also call me directly. I don't mind giving out my cell phone number because I'll block you if it's necessary. My cell phone number is 252-902-9222. Use it with some discretion.
Yes, and call Dr. Glenn because I'm not giving out mine over the air, and no, you cannot call me through there. Call the station if you want to get in contact with me, and the station owner will contact me for you. But no, I will not give you my phone number, and no, you're not welcome to call me. You're welcome to call in on this broadcast right now if you would like to be live on the air with me and Dr. Glenn. The phone number here at the station is 252-756-2008. I'll talk to you all you want right here live on the air.
Thank you.
Dr. Glenn, that's a bold move.
Yeah, but I appreciate what you just said because I don't mind giving out my cell phone number. Like I said, if I have to block you, I will block you without hesitation. I always do that on the phone lately with scam calls and bogus emails. I'll block them off from an email and report them as scam or pilfering. So I'll do it in a minute.
Well, Dr. Glenn, I got to give it to you. I'm not even wanting to go there to get to the point of having to block you. I don't want to deal with the foolishness, and I don't want to have no issue about it, And the way that I believe is I said what I said, and I meant what I said.
But you might sometimes just get them out of the blue. I got a call from Israel You think I answered that call? My phone even said scam likely. So when the call dropped, I went to my phone, went to recent calls, and blocked them.
Oh yeah, as far as that goes, definitely you can definitely do those because we all get a bunch of scam calls. Hey, we can ready to go out on our first break, and we want you to hang in there and come right back. We're gonna dig in this subject. This is the Glenn Johnson Show on Awesome Radio. Right back.
My name is Jayla, and you're to see to my papa, Glenn Johnson, on the radio.
Footprint Small Event and Conference Center. It's located in the heart of downtown Greenville at 304 Evans Street. Welcome to Footprints, a clean, family-friendly event space designed for unforgettable moments. Whether you're planning a private celebration or a professional gathering, Footprints offers the perfect setting for your vision. It's ideal for conferences and workshops, baby and bridal showers, birthday parties and special celebrations, community classes and meetings. You can create your own event or have it beautifully designed by our experienced event planner. Because here, you don't just host an event, you make memories that leave footprints in your heart. 304 Evans Street, Greenville, North Carolina. Plan your event today. 252-412-3169. 252-412-3169.
Hello, my name is Daniel out of Greenville. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the hosts, any guests, and speakers, and do not necessarily reflect the views and beliefs of this station, Awesome Radio, its parent company, Community Care Fellowship, nor its affiliates and underwriters. Any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the content of this program should be directed to the host. This is a disclaimer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullis Williams here on Awesome Radio. I'm going to say this just one more time. We have scaled down some of the documents for our broadcast today because of verification. So with that being said, let's go to our first audio clip, then we'll get to the document. This is Governor Stein talking about the Governor Stein announces $18 million to be distributed to food banks across the state. The source, WECT staff news updated October 31st, 2025. Here's an audio clip, then we'll get to that document.
Some state funding will help fill in the gaps where the federal SNAP money runs out tomorrow. Governor Josh Stein announcing nearly $18 million in emergency contributions will help to keep food assistance programs running. That includes $10 million in state grants for local food banks, along with private donations from organizations. He called the donations a temporary lifeline, saying in part, with the help of generous partners, North Carolina is taking action to keep families fed. Shoring up our state's food banks will serve as a critical but fleeting lifeline for families in need. And I hope other North Carolina organizations will also step in this time of need.
In North Carolina.
Okay, that was the anchor from the news network, WECT, and she mentioned when Governor Stein is putting that in effect, she said tomorrow. So that news broadcast was updated on October 31st. So when she said tomorrow would have been November 1st, 4 days ago. Apostle?
Yes, and I just want to, I know we didn't really give the subject here. We're talking about giving out some information for the SNAP program and looking at defining certain things. And we probably had some other articles on SNAP or what is, but I just want to say, since we're on the air here and right now, I just want to say that we are praying, concerned in this situation. There's a lot of people that are concerned about not the potential of not having food. And I'm sure we're already in today's like the 6th, I think.
Yeah.
5th or the 6th.
Cause
The 5th.
Yeah,
Today's
because I already saw one article where the son approached the mom and said, "Mom, what are we going to do? Are we having a Thanksgiving?" Because obviously the son knew about what was going on with the shutdown and the benefits. So he's like, Mom, what are we going to do? And we was there in one of the documents, and she was basically said, son, we'll have to make do with what we have.
Make do with what we have, but then what happens when what we have is
It's
gone?
Yeah.
And so we need to look at that, and we need to be looking ahead. And I just want to say that, from here, with Dr. Glenn and myself, we're praying for you. I know that it's a tough time, it's a scary time, but it's also a wake-up time where we have to wake up and start looking at what could be done or what could potentially happen if these, particular benefits are not around. We got to start looking and seeing what we're going to have to do, or what this nation will have to do, not just the nation, but even here in Pitt County. And so it was good to see that the governor has released 18 million to be distributed to food banks.
Yeah.
Now you got to find out where the food banks are.
Yeah.
There are some food banks, and it said here you could call 211. But if you're around, there are, I'm just going to say this, there are a lot of churches that are in this city or over here in Greenville and the surrounding areas, even Winterville, that I know of that give out food. And
right.
I'm wondering, Dr. Glenn, because I don't have the information for this, but is some of that 18 million going to those people, or is it to the people that distribute the food to the churches? I don't know how it is.
I'm not quite sure, but do they have anything on the document that you have?
It just said to food banks across the state. So it must be, and I can't speculate because I don't know. But listen, I do know some people that do give out the food, so I will ask and see, is it coming directly to them or to the people that distribute it, that gives it to them to distribute? And that's how I figure that it probably is, to the certain stores.
Yeah, let me mention one more thing. See, when it comes to government, if they could spell out all the information, we would end up with not only one sheet, we probably would end up with 15 sheets of information.
Well, and who's getting this 18 million? I like information. I like when people say they're doing stuff that we need to be able to see that they're doing it. Who's getting it? And where is it available for the people? Because people need it. And then what about people that don't have a ride? I know some of the particular, programs deliver food. They deliver it to people's houses. And so is it being given to them to be able to deliver it? How are the people going to get? I think there has to be a whole system mobilized here to be able to help people in this hour and in this time of need. And it's my prayer that nobody goes hungry, that no children go hungry, that no families go hungry at this time. Call 211, it says here, and you should be able to be connected with your local resources or visit the website.
Okay, Apostle, before you go any further, with 3 minutes, I think I found a document that answers the question that you was concerned about. Right here.
Is this the one with government?
Yeah, take my copy.
Okay,
Or do
I
you
have it here.
You have it? You
Yes.
see the various, with the help of generous partners, and they list all the partners, even that paragraph and the paragraph after that. It lists all the companies.
Dr. Glenn, you got to show me.
All right, look.
I see the paper.
Yeah, starting right here.
Okay, where you have it highlighted. Okay. With the help of generous partners, okay, I do see it. North Carolina is taking action to keep families fed, said Governor Josh Stein. Shoring up our state's food banks will serve as a critical but fleeting lifeline for families in need. And I hope other North Carolina organizations will also step up in this time of need, whether it's paying our military. See, that's why I said, Dr. Glenn, I need to see where the money going. I'm looking here and I see a lot of different avenues, and I'm saying, is this money going to get to the people that really need it? Because it said whether it's paying our military, ensuring no child goes hungry, and I'm for that, or lowering healthcare costs. What's that got to do with people being hungry, Dr. Glenn? Leaders in Washington need to come together immediately to find a bipartisan solution that provides long-term stability for millions of Americans.
Now read that next paragraph.
It says, we believe access to healthy food is fundamental to good health, says Heidi Chan, AmeriHealth, Caritas, North Carolina market president. In the wake of Hurricane Helene, our multi-year investment in Mana's Food Nutrition Network demonstrates our commitment to helping ensure reliable access to nutritious food. Okay, so I'm just saying now, Dr. Glenn, from where I'm sitting, I'm just saying, and I'm looking and I'm reading it here, but it's given a lot of different avenues, where they could be using that money. But I'm trying to make sure that I see something that money is given. It said local food banks. That's where I believe that there's going to be the most, resourceful and valuable to people, where they will be able to reach out and get the food. And then are there certain ones that are all of them? I mean, which ones, we need precise information. This document is still a little vague for me.
All right, but it's also going to be vague because if they had to spell it all out, we're talking about 1,000 pages perhaps. But so in essence, you want to be on the truck carrying the money to the different facilities.
Definitely. Sam, where is this money going? I just need, I'm just sorry. I've seen a little wastefulness in some of the documents and things that we've seen, that money can be given out there, and then it seems like it's not reaching out to the people that are hungry.
I'm pretty sure you can find that information somewhere. But like I said, if you do, make sure that it's verified. So you won't end up with bogus information, if you will. So wherever you go, Google it, go to a website that you might trust. But after you receive the information, make sure that it's verified and contains all the appropriate and up-to-date information. Apostle.
Yes, we're getting ready to go out on a break. Hang in there and come right back. I got a few things I want to give to you right back in a moment.
I am Miss Mary Cox. I'm Killer Thigpen's mother from Awesome Radio.
We provide community information, education, and awareness. 102.3 FM, 1450 AM, New Bern, WNOS.
This chiropractor was sued for wearing a cross. Stay tuned.
Legal perspectives on the tough issues Christians in secular workplaces today are facing. This is the Legal Alert with attorney David Gibbs Jr. of the Christian Law Association.
Jerry is a chiropractor in the state of North Carolina. He operates a private practice, and the logo for his company is designed to include a cross. As a medical professional and private business owner, he sent out some advertising materials. He was shocked when someone sued him because the brochure contained the Christian cross. Not knowing how to navigate a religious liberty lawsuit, Jerry called our lawyers at the Christian Law Association. Our attorneys took immediate action and prevented this frivolous lawsuit from ever seeing the light of day. When you face religious persecution, the attorneys of the Christian Law Association would count it an honor to endeavor to help you. Jerry had every right to put the cross on his own private material.
Call the Christian Law Association 24 hours a day for legal support. Call 888-252-1969. That's 888-252-1969. Or if you prefer, 888-CLA-1969. Thanks for joining us today.
We're back. You're listening to The Glenn Jonson Show. You can reach Glenn at glennjonsonshow@gmail.com.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the hosts, any guests, and speakers, and do not necessarily reflect the views and beliefs of this station, Awesome Radio, its parent company, Community Care Fellowship, nor its affiliates and underwriters. Any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the content of this program should be directed to the host. This is a disclaimer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Jonson Show, Motivation with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullis Williams. We have reached our final 30 minutes of today's broadcast. So before we go any further, to mention the SNAP program, EBT program in Pitt County, I just want to let our listening audience know to avail yourselves to the broadcast that took place at 10 o'clock this morning here on Awesome Radio. with County Commissioner Mary Perkins Williams, our boss, Mr. Keela Thickpen, and another gentleman who was a guest. I think he was representing something to do with the EBT cards or program. But if you would avail yourself to Facebook, you won't find it under the live tab because the broadcast had happened already. So you should find it under the videos. Also on Awesome Radio YouTube page or Awesome Radio Network.org, I believe. But anyway, and also GPAT Channel 23, you'll be able to find it there as well. But avail yourself to the video of the broadcast that took place 10 o'clock this morning with County Commissioner Mary Perkins Williams. I believe it was the Mary Perkins Williams show, if I'm not mistaken. But I know Mary Perkins Williams, Mr. Keela Thickpen, Mercado, and the other gentleman was on there. They shared a lot of stuff that had to do with Pitt County, EBT, and the SNAP program. Apostle.
Yes, Dr. Glenn, I wanted to give out something I did say to call the 211 if you needed food or resources immediately, 211 to be connected with local resources. It also said here you could visit NCDHHS website dedicated to food access to find a food pantry closest to you.
And that NDH something, whatever you said, is at the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Yes, their website.
Yeah, thank you.
So you can go there to the website and they're going to be able to tell you how to find a food pantry closest to you.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking, Dr. Glenn. I'm like, where is the food being given out at? How are the people going to reach it? How is it? It's not that I want to go, Dr. Glenn, and see the money given out, but hey, they can get me in there if they need me to. And I'll make sure that some folks get what they're supposed to get from that money.
I'm thinking if you might reach out to County Commissioner Mary Perkins Williams, she may be able to direct you to the sources that you desire.
Yes, Dr. Glenn. And so we're not making light of anybody's situation here. I know that it's a very serious time for some and it's a very scary time for others, but those resources are there. We've given it on this show where you can call 211 from your phone, and the North Carolina Department of Human Services website, and they will tell you where there's a food pantry closest to you. And Dr. Glenn, I'm gonna get on there and Google and see where you're going to get the food. I don't get SNAP benefits. I know, I used to say things like, I wish I did. But if wishing you did, meaning that you wishing that you had a lower income.
And we're going to get into some of those requirements in a moment. We have a document on Pitt County government reports that WIC will be available despite the shutdown. And the source, WNCT. Also, Pitt County WIC program continues operation amid federal government shutdown. Also, SNAP versus EBT, what is the difference? And I want to bring that forward because a lot of people might not even know. Also, SNAP question, what exactly is SNAP? SNAP, SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. That's what SNAP is. You have to meet certain requirements.
Definitely, Dr. Glenn. We've heard that word over and over again, and I'm just being honest with you. This is the first time I've seen the meaning that SNAP meant Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
I am so glad I put that document today then.
Yeah, I definitely learned about it here. And we have one here that says SNAP versus the EBT card.
Yeah.
And so I know SNAP is the program and the card is where the money is dispensed.
Exactly. The card is where the money is put for you to use at the various outlets that you may have go to buy groceries.
Yes, the EBT card can also be used for other state benefits like cash assistance, TANF. So that same EBT card will have food assistance on it that you could use exclusively for food, and then the cash assistance on the same card.
Yeah, because I know somebody with one system at the store one time, and when he rung up at the register, he had to choose SNAP benefits or cash. he never chose the cash. I said, that's good.
Well,
You're not abusing the funds of the state.
Dr. Glenn, this particular program has come a long way since the 70s when we were growing up, and we actually saw food stamps. We saw
Yeah.
books of food stamps that you spent like money.
And I'm actually glad you said that because the SNAP program and the EBT card is kind of like a throwback or a version of food stamps.
It's a modern version of it.
Right, exactly.
It's the same
10% of it.
program. It's just a modern version of it.
Yeah,
And I just wanted to share a funny moment, Dr. Glenn, when I came from Europe. My oldest, who is almost 40 now, she was about, I think about 4, 5, no older than 6 years old. And we went to visit some relatives in Detroit, and she was 6. And she came running to me. She was so excited. And she says, Mom, cousin, and she gave the cousin's name. He gave me a brown dollar. I've got this wonderful brown dollar, she says. And I says, a brown dollar? And she says, yes. He told me to put it in my purse. And so she ran and I said, well, go get it so I can see what you're talking about. She ran and she came back with her purse, and it was a food stamp.
Yeah, I remember that the various colors to basically point out the monetary amount of the stamp itself, because they had colors that associated with the dollar amount.
Yes, and I had been in Europe for like 5 years, so I had not seen food stamps, and I had no clue what she was talking about. And she being 5, she had never, because they don't have that program overseas.
Yeah, and I think another reason why they changed, because people would actually take their food stamps to the store because there were people engaged in illegal activity. Some store people would buy the stamps from you. They would buy, like, say, for instance, they might buy $150 from you for $100, because then they would change it and get the $150 or more back.
Yes, so it's more secure to have the card, but it still doesn't stop people if they want to sell. You still can do it with the card. There's always a way around the system.
Because they'll sell the card and give the person the PIN number so they can go there and make a transaction.
So there's still a way. So, but I maybe it did cut down things, cut it down from where it was. So
Yeah.
I could see that, but it is a lot, and it is a huge program, and there's a lot of people that depend on it. And I saw actually the number here that it was given on the governor's thing that said how many people depend on SNAP.
You need to call that number. Let's get Apostle to call that number.
To call what? The 211 number?
Yeah, and find out what you can find out.
Well, I'm going to go on the website, and then even by next week when we come back, I'm going to mention where some of the food banks are or how it referred me. I'm just going to go in like I need food, and I'm going to see if I can gather some of that information.
Yeah, please do that,
Because if you don't know where to go, then it's just as bad as not having anything.
Yeah.
Not having information is very, very limiting, and it can be very debilitating when you don't know and you need.
Yeah, please do that, so when I get home and over the weekend, I can delete some of the information that I obtained from these illegitimate sources.
Definitely, Dr. Glenn. And so we were talking about the EBT, and the EBT stands for Electronic Benefits Transfer Card. It's the electronic benefit transfer, because we didn't do that one.
Did you know that one?
I did not.
We put a couple of documents here today that helped Apostle Jacqueline Cullis Williams along the way. Now she's no more than what she knew before she got here today.
Well, I've seen the names and I've heard the names, but I didn't actually know what they stood for, because I don't get any of the benefits, so I don't know. But hey, I've learned some things today, like Dr. Glenn said, and I'm going out of here smarter and I'm going out wiser. Hey, come right back with us. We'll be right back in a moment. This is the Glenn Jonson Show on Awesome Radio. Back in a moment.
Keep it locked right here to the Glenn Jonson Show.
We welcome our newest station to the network of Awesome Radio, WNOS New Bern, 1450 AM and 102.3 FM. There will be a community teen summit for ages 13 to 19. It's an open forum with an adult panel. Friday, November 7th 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the BET Community Building, Greenfield Terrace, 120 Park Access Road, Greenville. Nada Manning, coordinator and host. For more information, the number is 703-593-3627. That's 703-593-3627. Or email timandant@aol.com. That's TIMANDANT@AOL.com. This is an open forum for teens ages 13 to 19 to talk it out. Community Teen Summit, Friday, November 7th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Greenfield Terrace BET Community Building, 120 Park Access Road, Greenville.
Hi, my name is Tracy. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the hosts, any guests, and speakers, and do not necessarily reflect the views and beliefs of this station, Awesome Radio, its parent company, Community Care Fellowship, nor its affiliates and underwriters. Any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the content of this program should be directed to the host. This is a disclaimer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Jonson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullis Williams, here on Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM. 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU. Also, don't forget our other stations, WNOS, 1450 AM, 102.3 FM, New Bern, WYLT/LP, 100.3 FM, Rocky Mount, WBIS/LP, 106.9 FM, Espanol, Winterville. And I just want to mention again, 10 o'clock this morning, there was a broadcast with County Commissioner Mary Perkins Williams, our boss, Mr. Keela Thigpen, and a gentleman to talk about the various EBT and SNAP program and things like that. It was very, very important and informative information. So avail yourself to that broadcast by visiting YouTube. It is not under the live program because it's not being broadcast live. You'll find it under the videos. Also, GPAT Channel 23 Sunlink and Awesome Radio YouTube page. Now, we are down to our final 10 minutes of the broadcast, so we would like to focus the rest of the time on Pitt County. Here's our final audio on Pitt County. Then we'll get to some of the Pitt County documents.
Health officials announced that the food benefits for 1.4 million North Carolinians will be delayed if the government shutdown continues. With food insecurity looming, people in the Pitt County and surrounding areas met today to try and find ways to help. Our Haley Hollinger attended the meeting of local leaders and community members to find out more about how families will be affected and what action the community is taking. Haley.
Thanks, Courtney. Over 14,000 households are at risk of not receiving aid if the government shutdown continues. And with the next benefit distribution date looming, over 100 people gathered here at First Christian Church to discuss resolutions. Many are asking what comes next in light of the significant risk of November food benefits being delayed due to the government shutdown.
I don't know what it would be like to be that mom, and I think about that right now, to have to go home to my children and say, we're not going to eat tonight.
The USDA also issued guidance stating it would not be using the roughly $6 billion in federal contingency funds to keep SNAP operational during November. As questions loom, those who gathered at First Christian Church on Monday are worried for the future, but also looking for solutions.
We're not able to do all of it, but we're going to do something because we're not going to allow people to go hungry.
After the Pitt County Department of Social Services got in contact with the interfaith clergy last Thursday, a meeting was called.
Okay, I cut that short because we got to get to some other documents. And I also want to mention one thing. I don't want anybody to jump to conclusion or be alarmed because, in a moment's notice, things with government could change. They might say one thing this minute, the next minute, it might change totally. So keep that in mind. And I know that for a fact because when they said there was going to be a problem with Social Security payments and things like that, I actually received my Social Security deposit in my bank account 2 days in the actual date, because I am a federal benefit recipient by way of Social Security. So my actual deposit, which is direct deposit, which is usually on the 3rd, actually took place November 1st.
Yes, Dr. Glenn. So those programs were not interrupted. I also want to say that the WIC program is still up. So the Women, Infants, and Children, I know what that one stands for, Dr. Glenn. It's still in operation and it has not been shut down. And it says that it's funded until 2026.
Yeah, I did see that somewhere. Is there any more information on that?
It just said that it's funded until 2026 with no interruptions. So I don't think we have to really give fully open and operational is what it said.
Yeah, and that's why I want to let our listening audience know, at all costs, don't panic, don't jump to conclusions, because as you know, with government, things change in a moment's notice. And one thing could be in law this hour, the next hour, it totally changed. So keep that in mind.
Definitely. And we want to let you know that even, with this particular situation, things can turn around very quickly. And from one day to the next, things can actually change. Dr. Glenn?
Absolutely, sir. That's why I want everybody to jump to conclusions and get all bent out of shape. Just say, hold your head up high. Look to the light. What does mean, look to the light, mean? Apostle.
Look to the light. Are we talking about look to the bright side is what we're saying. Look on the bright side. Or look up to Jesus, because Jesus is the light.
And that's exactly what I'm
This is
talking
a Christian program now.
That's exactly what I was referring to.
So we can start look to Jesus, but also get up and do your due diligence, because Jesus is not going to come down here and just bring you some food to your front doorstep. You could pray, and sometimes some things happen miraculously, and sometimes God can send somebody. But we gave you solid information of websites and phone numbers to call if your family is actually hungry. Make sure that you are looking out for what you need to do.
And do we have one of the documents from Pitt County list of various places and sources and phone numbers we can get stuff from?
Dr. Glenn, yes, I'm sure that we have it here somewhere as far as I don't know about the phone number, but it does give some websites here. Food and Nutrition Services applications to apply for food and nutrition services. It has it there, and that's epass.nc.gov. And that is a citizen portal, and that's where you can do the application. And it's also the North Carolina Department of Human Services.gov. You can, again, that's another one, and that's where you can call, or you can contact the website to be able to apply if you need those benefits or you need help with your food. So Dr. Glenn, I Googled something today to see what it would tell me. And I Googled the question, how to survive without SNAP benefits. And one of the things that it told me was to go to the food bank and pantries. And I said, okay. And then also what we gave out is a number to dial 211. And then it also said to contact social services. I'm just going down the list because everything that we went over today before getting here, I had it on the list already of things to do. And there's one thing here on my list that I have that we do not have in this pile of papers or this pile of documents that we gave to you. There's another one here. It says contact social services other than state-run food programs, because there are some other food programs like the commodities program. And I don't think we mentioned that while we were here. The commodities program has been being given out. I mean, and I know we're only focusing on the SNAP, but the commodities program is something that you could be a part of too.
Yeah.
I remember that, that's, a lot of older people get it even to this day, or they get it all the time, but you can qualify easily if you're already qualified for SNAP.
And I knew there was a phone number somewhere, and we'll get to this document, which is going to be probably the last document we get to, as well as the difference between the EBT. Well, we did do that, but that number is actually on the document that we have for the WIC program. Let's not forget about the WIC program and what that does. So we have 1 minute to go, but we'll hold that off until we get to the final 10 minutes. We'll talk about the WIC program and probably just briefly go over some other stuff to make sure you have the right information. And I'll mention again to go to YouTube, Facebook, and look at the broadcast from 10 o'clock this morning with County Commissioner Mary Perkins Williams, Mr. Keelan Thigpen, and the gentleman. Apostle will take us up to the next break. Then we'll be back with our final 10 minutes.
Hey, we're getting ready to go out and we have 10 minutes left. You still have time that you can call in if you want to be a part and you have something you want to say real quick. We'll still allow you to be on the air with myself and Dr. Glenn. Hey, we know that we've given out some good information and Dr. Glenn is coming back with the phone number that I could not find. He's going to give you a phone number where you can call and get the information for the resources. Hey, we know that you're enjoying our show on today and we want you to come right back, because I have one last thing on my list that it told me to, it gave me as a tip of how to survive without SNAP. And so I've got to say that one thing when we come back. So we're going to leave this cliffhanger here. And I know you're sitting on the edge of your seat and waiting. This is the Glenn Jonson Show, and you're listening to us on Awesome Radio. Right back in a moment.
My name is Jayla, and you're to see to my papa, Glenn Johnson, on the radio.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the hosts, any guests, and speakers, and do not necessarily reflect the views and beliefs of this station, Awesome Radio, its parent company, Community Care Fellowship, nor its affiliates and underwriters. Any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the content of this program should be directed to the host. This is a disclaimer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullis Williams. I'm going to go right back up to Apostle with this cliffhanger because I'm trying to find out exactly what it is.
So now, Dr. Glenn, this is one thing that we didn't have on any of our documents today. And I sat and I looked and I had everything that you had. I had it in line here, except this one thing that was given as a tip here of how to survive without SNAP benefits. And this is the last thing it said, and it's a very powerful thing. I know it's not a one size fit all, but some people are going to be able to fit this, and this solution is going to help many people. It said to find employment. You may need, while these particular issues are going on, to have to find employment. I know that there's some people that cannot work or they can't get in, because of childcare. There's a lot of things that this particular issue that is going on now could stretch out in many places.
Exactly.
It's not just a one size fit all, but there are some side hustles that you can get out there and you can do. There's some things that you can get out there and do to make money. I mean, we have a lot of delivery services that if you have a vehicle, get out there and side hustle and make and do what you can do to help your family.
And let me mention something before we get to the last document, because we have 8 minutes. So I'm going to go back home. When I get done the station, do some further research. I'm going to go to my computer, delete all the unnecessary documents that haven't been verified to verifiable sources, and just stick with the things from verifiable sources so we can bring you legitimate information. So we're about to go to our final document, and that is the WIC program. The one phone number that I saw, it's contact us, office hours Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's community referrals to immunizations, healthcare providers, and social services needs. That number is 252, and that's the main line, 252-902-1000. The location, 1717 West 50th Street, Greenville. I believe that's near Memorial Drive and 5th Street. Yeah, right off of Memorial Drive, depending on which way you're traveling. It's if you're traveling from Winterville to Greenville, you get to 5th Street, you make a left on 5th Street, it will be on your left-hand side, the county offices building there. If you're coming from the other direction, you have, obviously, you will make a right on 5th, and then it will be on your left-hand side, the county offices buildings on 5th Street, 1717.
Yes, Dr. Glenn. And again, Dr. Glenn, I just want to emphasize doing and using what you have in your hand. Don't sit and just do nothing. And I'm not talking about going out. I've heard some people say they were going to commit some crimes, or saw some videos saying that they were going to begin to go to stores and just do whatever they had to do if they needed to get food or whatever. Don't let that be the case. There are other ways that you can get food. Go to the food banks, call in, or look at that Department of Human Services website and see where you can pick up food or how you can get it, and start asking. And also, like I said, there's a lot of people that need rides. Dr. Glenn, my mother, she was the original side hustler. She made cakes, she made candy, she used to fish, and she used to sew. She did many things on the side to make sure that she had the money that she wanted to have in her pocket. Make sure you use any of your gifts and talents and be able to make money with it.
And just to make a comment on what you just said about people that said they were just going to go rob places, and you advise that not to do that. That's not a good idea. And my sentiment exactly, because you getting somewhere and you're robbing somebody or some store or something, the police show up, they don't know if you're armed or not. They don't know if you have a weapon. They just know you're robbing something, and they're still putting their safety in jeopardy and everybody that's on location along with you. So they might draw their weapons, and you might, I hate to say, you might get shot yourself. So by all means, refrain from doing that. And I'm not saying you will get shot, but there's a slim possibility that you could be.
Definitely, Dr. Glenn. And you don't want to end up behind bars over some food when you can get some food for free, or go to one of these food banks. And sometimes they're giving out some good food, Dr.
Yeah,
Glenn.
but not just behind bars. If a police officer shows up and you get shot, you might lose your life. So you don't, not only jail, you don't want to end up deceased.
But that's right. You don't want to take that risk over something as small as food. You
Exactly.
can get food. You
Exactly.
can get it, and it's available, and we're talking about it now.
Yeah.
And I'm nosy enough. Call in and call here next week, and we can find out together. I'll stand with you, whatever it is, and we'll make sure that people are getting the food that they need. I don't mind sticking my nose in other people's business.
And you can reach Apostle at her cell phone number is
Dr. Glenn, don't you dare.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. I had to tighten you up before we leave.
Well, I don't mind emailing. You can call into this studio, and as I said, you can call into the station, and they'll contact me, or you can even contact Dr. Glenn, and he'll get it over to my hands, and I'll find out how to get in contact with you.
Lord have mercy, you should have saw how she looked at me.
Dr. Glenn, don't give my phone around.
But anyway, I don't mind if you have my cell phone number, because if I don't want you to call me any longer, I'll just block you. My direct cell phone number is 252-902-9222. You can always reach me by email at Glenn, Glenn, Jonson Show at gmail.com. Apostle, 3 minutes will end today's broadcast.
Yes, I just want to say to you, I am reachable, but it's going to be only for serious inquiries, and it's going to be secondhand. You're going to be screened by somebody else before you get to me. They're going to be my screening process. Call Dr. Glenn, call the station, call the studio. Hey, we hope that you've enjoyed being on with us on today, and we pray that you are blessed in this season. We pray that you're not worrying, that you're not stressing, that you're not some things that causes a lot of people to have anxiety or fear, that you're not walking in anxiety or fear, because the Lord is going to take care of all of us. And don't worry. You're going to be able to get and have access to food. I know that I'm praying, and I know Dr. Glenn is praying, and there are many people that are praying for this whole city, this whole nation, because a lot of people are in the same place. Let's rally together, and let's make a very, somebody said together we can make a tight and a strong fist.
And I'm going to say this before we end the broadcast. We are family. And the acronym for family is forget about me. I love you. If you look at the spelling of that, that's exactly what it spells out. Forget about me. I love you. Family.
Dr. Glenn, you have some witty sayings a lot of time, and I never heard that one. Forget about me. I love
I
you.
love you. That's family. If you look at the letters, that's what it spells out.
Well, that's a very good one. I like that. Forget about me. I love you. Family. We are family and we are concerned about you. Hey, we want you to come back here next week. I'm going to come back with some information. I promise you that next week we'll start out that show and I'm going to see where we pick up the food.
Okay, that's good because I like reliable information. So like I said, I'm going to go home, go to my computer, discard all the unreliable information, all the unnecessary information. And if need be, we'll come back next week with a part 2 to bring you some reliable information that you might need. Apostle will close us out at this time.
Definitely. And I encourage you that you, myself, and all of us pray that the shutdown is over and things resume and go back to normal. We can all lift up and whisper a prayer for this nation and that everything would turn out to be right. Hey, we want you to come back here next week. We're so glad that you tuned in today, and we know that you've enjoyed and you've gotten some information from us from this particular broadcast. I want to say to you, I love you, and God bless you on today. Dr. Glenn?
And I'm going to leave with one final word. If you are a recipient of any federal funds, that makes you a federal benefit recipient. So keep that in mind. If anybody asks you what your status is, just say you're a federal benefit recipient. You don't have to say I'm on welfare, or you don't have to say I'm on Social Security. You don't have to say this, that. It's just I'm a federal benefit recipient. That's all you have to say. God bless you all. Take care. We'll see you next week. God loves you all, and may this whole shutdown situation turn around immediately. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.